Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Paranormal Highway. Today, we're talking about one of the famous folklore mythology stories in a town called Normandy Park. If you look on the map of the Seattle suburbs, it's basically between Berrien, Des Moines, SeaTac. It's right there. It's actually in the area where the Green River Killer himself has lived. I'm actually only like 5 blocks away where the Green River Killer lived. We're going to be talking about the legend of a place in Normandy Park where they call the Devil's Hand. Apparently, the Devil's Hand mythology, folklore story, that there is a portal to hell that's from there. And story goes that the Green River Killer was there and it started his possession. Can't prove that. Of course not. But we're going to discuss the story of the Devil's Hand. The devil himself that has been known to come out of the portal that some people have said the name is Sikla. So we're going to explore this part of the folklore on the Paranormal Highway. So kick back, relax, strap on, get some popcorn, get whatever you need, because this is the one show you don't want to miss, because it might just save your life on the Paranormal Highway.
Are there portals to hell here on the earth? Well, Jesus spoke about the gates of hell. Listen to this. The north of Prague in the Czech Republic, there's a Gothic castle with no water, no kitchen, no fortifications, no record of anyone ever living there. History tells us that there was a massive gaping hole that was believed to lead to hell itself, and the castle was constructed to keep what's inside from coming out. During construction, prisoners were offered a full pardon if they would allow themselves to be lowered into the hole. But after the first one came out, no one wanted to go in because he came out screaming, having aged dramatically, years taken off of his life when you looked at him. Are there portals to hell? I don't know. But here's what we do know. Jesus spoke more about hell than he did about heaven. Hell is a real place, and the only way to stay away from it is to put your trust in his substitutionary sacrifice and have faith in him.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Highway. Now, the intro talks about a portal to hell. I'm not here to say if you're religious or not. That just, when you talk about a portal to hell, you have to mix in religion. I mean, it's just you can't talk about one without the other. Now, Dr. Wu himself right now not living in the state of Washington. He's living, somewhere in California on a secret place that we can't tell you guys where he's living at. But he knows the area that I live in very well. And I've always tell people that every town that you're in, there's folklore, there's legendary stories all around you. You just got to go listen. You got to talk to the people who have lived there all their life, not new people that's coming in. I'm talking about finding people who has lived in this area for a long time. So, Bob, before we get started, we got a lot to show. Not a lot of show, but there is a video that I created to kind of explain the story a little better, and then we're going to talk about some of the most famous serial killers has came out of the state of Washington. People don't realize where we live in the King County. You can call it suburb of Seattle. You can call it whatever you want. But one of the most two famous serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy and the Green River Killer. God, I'm forgetting his name.
Something fucking.
He's God. I hate names. I'm talking about Gary Ridgway.
Yeah.
Bob, he only lives. Well, he did live 5 weeks away. 5 weeks away, 5 blocks away. It's not even that far.
Yeah.
But didn't he
also live in Berrien too?
Well, this is If people, it's hard to explain to people that
right down the road from Dad's house.
Have when you look at the map, you have Berrien, Des Moines, Normandy Park, SeaTac. And the way the lines are drawn, one block, you're in Berrien. Next block, you're SeaTac. Then the block after that, you're back in Berrien. So it's very confusing on the towns, how they're mixed together. But anybody who lived in this area knows basically Des Moines, Berrien, and SeaTac are basically the same town.
Well, the suburbs of Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they left it.
So, wow, already a question right out the back. Eric, does Courtney Love count as a serial killer? Well, if you actually watch the video of Bob and I walking around the
she does.
Fucking Black Diamond, we talked about
she sure does. That's the answer, and your answer is yes.
Some people say, is it in the water? Is it because there's lack of sun? Is there too much rain? Is there depression? Why are there so many serial killers that come out of state of Washington? Well, some people believe, Bob, that they're possessed by the devil at certain portals.
Yeah. They remind me of you remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the one
based off of Ed Gein's story.
Well, you remember what's his name? A Party at the Moon Tower. Everyone going to the Party at the Moon Tower. What's his name? The actor. God, he's from Texas.
Dennis Hopper.
No, gosh, man.
Dennis Hopper was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
He's. Oh my God, it'll come to me. Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, McConaughey.
You remember with Matthew McConaughey?
Chainsaw Massacre Generations.
Yeah. You remember how at the end of the movie you find out he was actually a government agent hired to kill people? You remember how that was weird? It's like, wait a minute, he's not really a psychopath, as in the fact that he's just supposed to kill people. That's his job for the government. He just thins populations out. He's like a psychopath killer. He reminds me of they all remind me of Matthew McConaughey and that Generations in Texas Chainsaw Generations. Remember, was it Zellweger was in it? Remember the Zellweger was in it?
That's a very underrated,
underrated movie.
Because if anybody watched that movie, McConaughey's acting was wonderful in it.
You guys have to go watch that movie after this show. Go watch that movie, Texas Chainsaw Generations.
Talk about Madman. I mean, watching his acting, it was like, his acting and one guy, I forgot the guy who played Batman, he did American Psycho. There's certain movies where they actually got to show their really true psychoness, like that.
Yeah.
Like that kind of an acting you just don't see in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And he played that part perfectly.
Ultimate serial killer, psychopath. You're thinking of American Psycho.
American Psycho.
American Psycho, yeah. It's same style of murder and just relentless and no feelings for it. But at the end, Matthew McConaughey, we were both like, wait a minute. Matthew McConaughey works for the government.
Yes, he does.
He was a psychopath for the government, hired by the government to kill. That's what he did. But I'm just giving some context for serial killers. And really, what are they? Are they actually government employees?
Yeah. Or the story we're about to talk about is some say some of these people have been possessed.
Yes.
By a demon, by a devil, through a portal to hell. Now, there's stories of portals to hell all over the United States of America.
Yeah,
it's not over
there.
here. So all because we're talking about one portal, it doesn't mean there's 1,000 other portals. There's thousands of portals.
Portals.
Now, in this one, there's been several claims that the name of a devil that uses the portal name is Sikla.
Yeah, demon.
And believe it or not, the Devil's Hand story is somehow connected with the Maury Island incident, or that's when they first noticed there's something strange about this tree during that incident. So I got a video to show everybody that kind of explains the story of the Devil's Hand. So people in the chat, you guys ready to see the video?
Oh, this is the real deal.
Cosmic Neighbors, Dogman UK, Juan Truth, awesome guy, Scotty B, Roger Blair. Let me see. Andrew's Parroll had to go back to homeschooling. That's good because you don't want your kids to see to hear about the demons.
Orale Juan.
Mike Johnson, John P. Adventure. Are you guys ready to see the video about the Devil's Hand? Oh yeah.
Portal.
The Devil's Hand may have a hand in this phenomenon.
I know exactly where that tree was.
He's going back to the alien syndrome hand.
the alien hand syndrome.
And I will put this video out as its own, so people don't want to watch the whole thing. They just want to learn about the story. We will play it. But this is the story of the Devil's Hand.
Begins in the summer of 1947, known for the infamous Maury Island UFO incident. This was the first major UFO sighting in the United States. And it didn't just leave the witnesses in awe, but it also left a lasting physical mark on the landscape of Normandy Park. There's a tree, a peculiar one that stands in the park. Locals claim that this tree was exposed to the radiation from the UFO, causing it to grow in a bizarre and unnerving manner. Its branches, unnaturally elongated and twisted, resemble the gnarled fingers of a hand reaching out for something, or as some believe, someone. But this isn't just a story about a grotesque tree. The tale takes a sinister turn with the introduction of Sikla the Devil. Legend has it that the radiation-infused tree is not just a tree, but rather a portal to hell itself. And from this portal, Sikla is said to emerge, intent on possessing the weak and defenseless. For years, this tale remained just that. A tale whispered among the locals, that is, until a certain individual's encounter with the tree. This individual was none other than Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer. As the story goes, Ridgway was walking through the park one fateful day when he was stopped in his tracks by the sight of the tree. Witnesses recount him standing there, staring at the tree, before breaking out into maniacal laughter and fleeing the scene. Not long after this encounter, Ridgway embarked on his horrifying killing spree. Locals were convinced that Sikla had possessed him at that moment in the park, triggering his monstrous acts. The tree, once a mere curiosity, was now feared, its vicinity avoided by all. The legend of Sikla the Devil, birthed from a UFO incident and fueled by a serial killer's rampage, continues to cast a long, terrifying shadow over Normandy Park, Washington. As to how long the supposed portal to hell will remain open is anyone's guess. But one thing is certain. The story of the Devil's Hand is a chilling reminder of the thin line between the normal and the paranormal, the explainable and the inexplicable.
All right. So that kind of explains the story. Now, people might have noticed this weird phenomenon of a portal maybe after the so I'm not here to say the Maury Island radiation, caused a rip.
It did.
A dimensional open, but it could.
It did.
Now let me show.
It did.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it did.
Why do certain portals open up, Bob? You know what I mean?
I saw it.
I'm going to show people, Bob, a picture and of the real. I was actually there yesterday too.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen.
Oh boy.
Well, it's actually behind. It's in this thumbnail too. So.
And it's right across your street, man, down the road. It's hilarious.
Okay, so when you look at this, you got the little dirt pile like this.
Yeah.
You get the 3, and you got the 2 on the outside. And that's actually like a hand. And see, there's a circle there where it's the palm. And people said that the story goes that Ridgway stand in the middle of that patch.
Yeah.
Let me see if I expand its. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I would. Okay, so right there, you can stand right there, like in the middle of where the 3 fingers are, and they're saying that's where the portal comes and goes.
Yeah.
Some people say that it could actually port you somewhere else.
Yep.
I've tried, of course. I've tried.
And right across the way, okay, I'm experiencing what they call a discrepancy error, continuity errors, or they would call it the other word, the Mandela effect. So I don't have any memories of any of these things until after 2016 showing up. So after 2016, Eric and I have been overwhelmed with all of these stories of Men in Black parades. We're like, what? There wasn't no Men in Black parade. I used to work for the Historical Society in Des Moines, and I handled all the stuff, and they had their own private museum, and I interned in the museum. None of this information was ever there. All of a sudden, it's been there. So it's always been there. And Eric's like, dude, it's always been here. This tree has always existed. The whole Mary Line, the whole thing actually happened. And as I went back and looked through all the archives and stuff, oh my God, it did. How the hell did I miss all this? So this is actually there. And Eric's like right across the street.
Yeah.
Right. If you were to take Eric and walk him out, I go, dude, this is the weirdest part. If we do a beeline, a straight line, it would be exactly where that freaking UFO blew up.
I need people to understand this. The place, the town area, the whole area is called Normandy Park.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a park that you think of barbecuing and stuff. This section there's trails that go down to the cliff.
Yeah.
And stuff.
By the
when you hear
Puget
the
Sound.
word Normandy Park, it's not necessarily that Ridgway is going to a park where there's 1,000 people.
No,
at an actual park you think of. It's the actual name of the area.
It's called Normandy Park.
Yeah, it's called Normandy Park.
And rich people live all along the edge of the Puget Sound, which is an inlet of water, salt water, that leads out into the open ocean. It comes in. It's got islands, all the different San Juan Islands, whatever, and the water flow comes all the way through. And they have cargo ships that go all the way from all the towns all along the edges, and there's ferries that come out. So this is it just follows along the line of the water, which is the Puget Sound. And
Bob, here's I made a short video, like a short of me standing on the palm of the
No, you stood in the middle, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
So let me go here. About the devil's hand.
Oh,
devil,
great.
the worship they did here, his name was Sikla. And you have to name Sikla. You have to say his name 3 times. And the idea is you go through a portal and you end up somewhere else. So I don't know. Let's take a look. It's the devil's hand. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. Come on. Here we go. Devil's hand.
Oh boy.
I'm in the
I
middle.
didn't realize I was wearing a
Devil's hand.
5-pointed star shirt.
Devil's
shirt.
Sikla. Wow. I thought
I just wanted to show people that I stand in the middle. I got that extra part. I really didn't get ported to hell. But
Bob, since I've been playing there, I hate to use the word playing. Well, Cosmic Neighbors, it was that shirt is actually a Def Leppard Motley Crue shirt. So the star is shot of the devil. That's Motley on the bottom because they did a stadium tour. So it was 2 shirts, Def and Motley. So the star is not the leopard symbol; it's the Motley symbol of the devil. I didn't realize it was wearing
which is the feminine
devil
symbol. It's a feminine. It's not upside down. The upside down is the masculine. The way that Motley Crue has it is the feminine form. So actually, and the dudes dress like women. You know, I love their music. I can put them down. This ain't putting them down. They love women. They're not, it was a sacred feminine. It's the point on top. Remember that, guys. The point on top is feminine. The 2 upside down. The upside down is masculine. Eric has the feminine Motley Crue version, so he's fine.
So. and this is the weird part. This is not weird, but I did another little short video of this weird area in this place where they put no trespassing.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
And
Rich
There's a reason
people.
why I'm showing it here. It's just a short video.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, this is going straight down a hill. I know it doesn't look like much of a hill on the video, but that's way down the hill.
That's it.
And there's nothing down there. This is near the Near Island incident. There has been stories, some Bigfoot sightings, cryptids. Has there been?
Well, yeah.
Is that why it says private property? And there's like nothing down there?
The portals there.
Because they don't even want people to attempt to crawl down there? Now, I never really thought about it. I'm gonna have to find a way to get down there. Are they hiding something from us?
Yeah.
You know, and the thing
Yeah.
is, I know you can't really tell by the video. When you look there, it goes straight down, and there's no houses, no nothing. This is like just like all forest. And you know, you sit there, and you're thinking, well, first of all, nobody's gonna climb down the hill, but they still put a no trespassing sign. You know, because this was the area of the Maury Island incident that in fact that true stories of it that government people have came down to shut people up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a make believe.
No, that's a fact now. That's a fact,
know,
Jack. Now I saw the same reason. I've seen all the same stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, and the T Bomber 25 that actually had an item.
Yeah.
That was from this area. That is from the ship, and then the plane itself has crashed. Strangely, you know, a lot of people talk about like Roswell stuff. Maury Island happened 2 months before that. Everything happened here.
Oh my God, Eric.
Yeah, but people are skipping this whole area.
Because they don't have a memory of it. Again, if you are experiencing the phenomenon like there was no story of this. I would have known. I took a parapsychology right up the road, Eric, in the college, like right there, like you know the parapsychology, like right there at Highline, right there. The college is right. It's not that far away from this whole area.
No.
So what the hell did it come from? Like when are these stories? And they're there now. They've been there back in the history. Oh my God, they've always been there. Eric, I want to remind you one more thing. You remember the guy who stole the airline? I think he stole a Alaskan prop plane.
The Barefoot Bandit?
No, yeah, the Barefoot Bandit also. But there was another one that went to the airport who got in there. This was in 2017 or 18, and he stole an actual airplane. And he flew the airplane. He flew the airplane over the Puget Sound, right over that area, and was like doing all these flips and dives. You remember he flew, and then you remember that guy?
I'm trying to look it up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he flew over that area, and all of a sudden he's talking crazy. He stole an airplane right down the road to the airport, and he flew over this area, and he's doing all these crazy and he's not a pilot. He just loaded the airplanes. He worked at the airport. He just stole the airplane.
Okay, so airline employee steals plane, takes it for a flight before crashing near Seattle. Military jets were scrambled as the plane performed air stunts. And the weird thing about this story is I'm so glad you brought up the story because this airport and stuff is not that far away.
Not that far away.
The Devil's Hand from the portal of hell.
And
did he go there?
Yeah, I think he did.
Possessed?
He did go down there. He was down in that area. And then the next thing you know, the dude is stealing an airplane, and he had no history of mental illness. He had no history of anything. He was a regular guy. In fact, he's in the airplane making jokes. And they're like, how did you learn to fly? And he said he learned it from video games. And he's flying the airplane, and they scrambled jets to get him, and he crashes it into the Puget Sound. And he was down there, man.
Oh, right here. No passengers or crew on the board the plane. The Pierce County Sheriff Department on Friday described the pilot as a 29-year-old suicidal male. The person who stole the plane died. Alaska Air Group CEO said Saturday. So apparently that guy has even died. And when he did that, he was only 29.
You gotta hear the audio, man. If you could play the audio, if there's like a half a minute of audio, it would
Authorized investigating airplane crash near Seattle. Let me see. I'll just press play. I don't know if you're gonna.
A plane crashed into Ketron Island. It's a small island off of Stillicum here. There aren't that many people who live there. There are probably about 20 who live year-round. Apparently, the plane was taken from SeaTac Airport.
SeaTac Airport.
Now is
that's
there was only one
connected
person on the
to
plane.
the devil's hand.
Flying the plane. I understand the person may have been doing some air stunts and whatever. I know that some aircraft were scrambled from the Air Force Base. There is no indication that this person who was flying the plane was trying to damage anything or attack anything. That person crashed into the island. There was a fire that followed. There are about 3 West Pierce fire units, pumper units, that are going over there by ferry. They should be arriving just about now, as well as some command units and some sheriff's department units. Our boat, the Mundell, made it over there quickly because it's a rapid response boat. So we believe there are no further casualties than one person. We don't know their condition, but because it was a fairly
August 10,
crash,
2018.
that's probably not a good condition.
Yep. I watched
we have no indication that neighbors or property were damaged or hurt.
No.
Again, it's very sparsely populated.
You know, think about this for a second. Plane crash, stole it. Apparently, 6 UFOs flew over this area where the devil's hand, and that plane somehow malfunctioned.
Yeah, people thought it was me. They thought it was me, and I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. I was getting emails saying, dude, I heard the audio, man. That's you. I go, nah, it wasn't me. They go, nah, it was you in the plane, man. I go, nah, it wasn't me. People were listening to it. Guys, you got to go back and listen to the audio. And it's hilarious. The dude was obviously like a regular schmuck, stoner, drunk guy just fucking around and plays video games. And I was getting emails, dude, that was you. I go, nah, it wasn't me, man. But it's odd because it's right there. And also, just down the ways further on the way to Fort Lewis, there was a train that also derailed on the way to Fort Lewis. It's not a 100% attached to that area, but it was strange that a train was somebody derailed a train. I wonder if that person went down there and played around with the tree, and then next thing you know, they're hijacking a train. A train was hijacked.
Looks like we got double the people here when we played the video the first time. We're at the halfway mark. If any of you who just came in, you know, the story behind the devil's hand, Sikla the Devil, I'm just going to play this video one more time for all the new people that just came in. So I know you're coming in like, what the hell they're talking about? A tree? What? A tree? So this is the video again, and I will put this out at its own so people don't have to watch us handsome guys talk about this.
Our story begins in the summer of 1947, known for the infamous Maury Island UFO incident. This was the first major UFO sighting in the United States. And it didn't just leave the witnesses in awe, but it also left a lasting physical mark on the landscape of Normandy Park. There's a tree, a peculiar one, that stands in the park. Locals claim that this tree was exposed to the radiation from the UFO, causing it to grow in a bizarre and unnerving manner. Its branches, unnaturally elongated and twisted, resemble the gnarled fingers of a hand reaching out for something, or as some believe, someone. But this isn't just a story about a grotesque tree. The tale takes a sinister turn with the introduction of Sikla the Devil. Legend has it that the radiation-infused tree is not just a tree, but rather a portal to hell itself. And from this portal, Sikla is said to emerge, intent on possessing the weak and defenseless. For years, this tale remained just that, a tale whispered among the locals, that is, until a certain individual's encounter with the tree. This individual was none other than Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer. As the story goes, Ridgway was walking through the park one fateful day when he was stopped in his tracks by the sight of the tree. Witnesses recount him standing there, staring at the tree, before breaking out into maniacal laughter and fleeing the scene. Not long after this encounter, Ridgway embarked on his horrifying killing spree. Locals were convinced that Sikla had possessed him at that moment in the park, triggering his monstrous acts. The tree, once a mere curiosity, was now feared, its vicinity avoided by all. The legend of Sikla the Devil, birthed from a UFO incident and fueled by a serial killer's rampage, continues to cast a long, terrifying shadow over Normandy Park, Washington. As to how long the supposed portal to hell will remain open is anyone's guess. But one thing is certain. The story of the Devil's Hand is a chilling reminder of the thin line between the normal and the paranormal, the explainable and the inexplicable.
All right, hold on. Let me remove
black
this.
screen.
Now,
Yeah.
now, people, when you hear the word he was walking in the park, the area is called Normandy Park. He was walking on these trails where a part of this trail, the trail is the trail that's known to have an overpass look on where the Maury Island UFOs has happened.
Right there.
For example, like let me go back to the picture again of the actual real tree. I mean, it's right there behind me. I made it look red. But if you go here, hold on a second. Let me go back. Oh, hold on. Let me use the other one. Let me use the other one because the other one has a farther shot and you can see the water. So let me go to the other one. Let me share this one. Yeah, this one. So right here
is the water right behind.
That's Puget Sound water.
Yeah.
So some of the saying is that the ocean, the Puget Sound, is what helps power the portal to be open.
Yeah, I used to fish and kayak there. I used to kayak.
Now, they say, Bob, that the portal opened as when the Maury Island UFOs went over. But what if, Bob, that portal was always there, and the portal of hell there? I'm just talking legendary. I mean, we don't know for a fact that Sikla the Devil is what caused the UFO to have a malfunction. Because that UFO, first of all, killed the dog. It broke a kid's arm, which the kid did go to the doctor back in 1947, and it caused the Men in Black to come, Ridgway, the killing spree. You talked about Ted Bundy was in this area.
Yep.
And then he went on a spree.
Yep.
Ted Bundy went on a spree. He's from this area. And then you have
I was in the area.
That, like you said, he wasn't crazy before. All
No, none of them were.
G-Tac that is connected with Normandy Park, that's connected, stole the plane and crashed. I mean, there's so many stories. Now, Bob, what about this one? Now, since I've been playing, when I've been listening to people's stories, the people who lived in it, not talking about people who moved in, people who lived there. Since I've been there, I have developed tore up cartilage in the knee.
Yep.
Had an operation. I've been into the hospital with ice headaches.
With cancer. You have a cancer growth. I mean, all those bad things, man.
Has it been, I don't know, has the hand touched me?
Like, it might have. You might have been touched by a hand of the devil. But let me add some anthropology to this, though. Let me add some background to this. Now, the name Siklis, that's one way of pronouncing it, but also in Gnostic teachings, somebody with a number 2 pencil, write this down. And in fact, find the information on it. This is so it helps me back up what I'm saying. In Gnostic teachings, you have the All-Father, the one God, and then that God had children, males and females. Okay, this is in Gnostic teachings. God has instructed the children to create humans. Okay, create whatever humans, create something, create a physical, whatever, a human being, whatever. So all the brothers and sisters all had other ideas or whatever. They're all having a hard time with it. So in Gnostic teachings, they had chosen one of the lesser gods, this is how the Gnostics go, one of the lesser gods to create humans, to be the human creator, to be God, to humans, to create humans. And the name of that lesser god, all the other brothers and sisters look down on this one. He's the dumbest god. Like, he's safe. He can make humans will be safe through him, because this god has all these. No, we don't want anybody having. Let's choose the runt of the litter to create humans. And his name, in fact, was, you can look it up, guys, write it down, Sockless. It depends on how you want to say it and what language. What if it's Germanic? We're talking about linguistics, but the name is the same. Sockless. Sockless was the creator, according to the Gnostics, of humans. Now, ironically, they call it the devil's hand, but it's also, if it's the name Sockless, it is the name of God in the Gnostic teachings. So what they're saying is, this is a portal Sockless made. Sockless, the lesser of all the gods, who created humans in the teachings of the Gnosticism. If you guys want to go into the Gnostic stuff, look it up. Look up the name Sickless. Change the I for a feminine A or an O, whatever. Sockless, same name.
Well, Bob, remember people saying that when they heard voices there saying it's Sikla, they might emit Sockless.
Sockless, yeah.
And they just kind of heard it in a different way of Sikla, and that caught on.
Yeah.
So the devil could be Sockless itself.
Yeah, it's Sockless. It's
just the same. Just maybe how they heard it, because when you're probably talking in a low point,
exactly,
point voice, you're not going to hear it exactly, because it's not like it's super loud or not.
Yeah, so I investigated down there after 2016 when everything changed. I figured this is going to be a fun game.
Jelly itself has heard the name mentioned before.
Sockless, yeah. Sockless. It depends how you want to say it.
Same thing.
Yeah. Is it spelled Sickless? I look up, I always call it Sockless. S-O-K, socks. Sockless. Look it up.
What
in Gnostic teachings?
Well, what I gather from people, I even have it written down.
Yeah.
Is God damn it. Hold on a second.
Yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, I gotta go check out this Sockless, man. Is this where God is? Is this where the humans, the God of the humans are? Or is this the portal to the God of the humans, Sockless?
Apparently the way people were spelling it is Sikla. Sikla. But like I said, they're just pronouncing their own way on how to spell it.
Daniel Fraser found it, Sockless. It's in the feminine form. Yeah.
So Sockless and Sikla, I can see where.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, it just, but people wrote it as Sikla, but they.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the common person. Listen, Normandy Park is a very rich area. That's why I live, guys. I live technically in Des Moines, right? And we got this main road called First Avenue. Everything on the other side of First Avenue is Normandy Park.
Yeah. Now,
so
it's
basically, if I lived over there, my house would be worth an extra $300,000. That's
now. Let's take a look exactly what these serial killers and exactly what they have done. And be careful when I say this. I have to go real slow. Now, starting, for example, the guy who stole the plane, he flew around. He was down there. He was down there talking to Sockless, whatever. He flew the plane, and then he crashed the plane. Now, get this. He crashed the plane on an island. On that same island was a children's prison, a children's jail. What do they call that? Educational, reformatory, whatever, for children. Now, there was already, now I'm going to add to the story. Now, there was already rumors that all of these rich people were going to this island and, this is sensitive, raping those children at that jail, at the kids' jail, raping them. And there was already an investigation going on about these kids being molested on this island. Now, it wasn't until the attention was drawn 100% taken seriously to the island until this individual crashed the plane on an island. Do your own research. That had a juvenile detention center for children that already had complaints of being molested by rich people. And guess who lived across the street, Eric, where this plane crashed on this island of children being molested? His name starts with a B and it ends with a G.
Oh, I know you're talking about
Bill
the
Gates.
Microsoft thing connection.
Bill Gates and all them other rich guys lived along the edge all around this island. And the rumors were that these rich guys were going to the island and the guards were letting them molest the children. Now, this is an investigation you guys can look up yourself. It does exist. This is not a rumor. This is not a conspiracy. This is a fact. I only deal in facts. That actually happened. And it wasn't until that plane crashed on the island before it was taken seriously, because now they had to evacuate all the children off that island because that plane was going to crash on the island. That guy kidnapped or would have sold the plane. The Alaskan Airlines. It used to be Alaska, now it's Alaska, but it's Alaskan back in my timeline. But anyway, he crashed it on there. All the children were removed from that prison or from that reformer school, whatever. And then while they were being detained somewhere else because of the crash, they were able to tell everybody about all the stuff that was happening on the island and all the rich people that were molesting them. And there was an investigation, but all of a sudden, investigations for all Bill Gates and all them rich guys just disappeared. And it wasn't until that guy crashed that plane there. Now, he was also down at that tree. Now, let's look at that Ridgway guy. Who was he murdering? These were
Prostitution.
Yeah, they were also selling drugs. They were also pimping out underage children. Murder is not good in any aspect. However, I'm just saying, in the light of whatever we are, the people he killed were in fact bad. All bad. Pretty much all these serial killers were killing the bad guys. They were like serial killers, but if you look at the people that they murdered, they weren't good.
And apparently, Washington has a lot of serial killers. Like, here's 13. 13 of the most infamous serial killers in Washington state history. 13, I know, right?
Esoteric number 13. Yeah.
Number 13. Of course, they put Ted Bundy's number 1, which
Mr.
technically,
Volkswagen.
but technically, he's been known at least about 36 killings, right?
Yeah, a lot of
Ridgway, they put number 2, has been saying total of 71 to 90.
Yeah, that they know of.
That we know of.
That they know of. The Green River Killer.
And then here's some other people called Billy Gold.
Yeah.
Although only 2 murders, but he's suspected to commit over 100 murders from 1902 to 1910. So that's an older one. Then here's Robert Lee Yates.
Wow. All in the same area.
At least 16 murders, which this is Pierce County is basically connected with King County, so it's just right there over.
13.
Then you have a guy named Gary Taylor.
Yeah. Ironically, all probably went to go talk to Sikla.
Yeah. And you have Randall Woodfield.
Uh-huh.
Interstate I-5, which is right there in our
same area.
Martin Stickless.
Oh boy.
Now he is in Cowlitz County, Washington. I don't know where that county is. I have Cowlitz County. I've never heard of that county, so that might be the one that surrounds somewhere.
Maybe
Kenneth
across the way.
Bianchi. Bellingham, that's a little up there. I mean, it's a little up there, but it doesn't mean they've all have, everybody comes down to King County because that's
they
where
come
the
down to
city
King County.
That's where the airport is, Tacoma.
Yeah.
Tacoma, Seattle, and Spokane, that's on the other side of the Washington, are your three like biggest cities.
Yeah.
But Tacoma and Seattle is like the biggest, and it's in this area. All right, you got Joseph Duncan 3.
Someone wrote, was Lost Boys? No, Lost Boys was in Santa Cruz. We used to go, Eric and I used to go down Santa Cruz to go surfing. We know Santa Cruz very well. We know Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about Santa Cruz.
No offense, people. That movie made Santa Cruz look a lot more with the fog and stuff. When you really go to Santa Cruz, it's really nothing like the movie.
Nah. However, there are a lot of vampires there. You got to be careful.
True. But there's vampires everywhere.
Yeah. Well, probably around there. Probably around Des Moines where we lived.
Yeah. So you got this Warren Leslie Forrest guy. Joseph Condro from 1980s, 1990s.
Wow.
What does he say? Known as the Longview serial killer. Longview. Oh.
Now, all these towns have one thing in familiar, guys. They're all around the Puget Sound, as Eric says. And that's where this thing exploded into the sound, into the water gateway, into all these other towns. It's all along the water.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is, if you are a gumshoe and you're connecting dots to find out you want to find out some weird things, they all have one thing in fucking common. The Puget Sound. And what happened, Eric, at the Puget Sound? Something exploded. And through a shelag style of drippings, an alien or an interportal, whatever ship come through whatever portal, and then it just liquefied into the Puget Sound. Then all these things happened.
And of course, this is just me.
Yeah.
This is just me. It has such a this thing has such a bigger connection, especially to the United States, because I'm telling people to this day that people listen in the chat, if you are a believer in Roswell, I'm not saying everybody is, the ship that supposedly crashed is from the 6 UFOs that flew over the Puget Sound, over the Devil's Hand.
Yeah, right there.
So,
right
if you
there.
think about it, if you believe these ships are real, why, with the technology they have, why are they malfunctioning here? I mean, seriously.
I know.
And the first malfunction is right here over the Devil's Hand.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Roswell is connected.
Yeah, that's where I found the parts.
Hand.
That's where I found the parts to build a time machine.
Oh, Persian Place. Sepulchres have become an incubus. They are the same creature.
A succubus. Yeah, you have an incubus. One's a male, one's a female. Succubus is female. I always remember it for a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, Shelley says the same thing. Succubus is a female demon.
Yeah, it's easy to remember if one's a female if you say it correctly. The females
Goonies is actually, guys, Goonies is actually up in Oregon. On the God, I'm forgetting the town now.
Astoria.
Astoria. Which Astoria is connected to Seaside, and then you have the where the 3 rocks are in the movie is starts with a C. God, forgetting the area. And it's funny because when you watch the Goonies, they're on their bikes. They go from Astoria to the 3 rocks like in minutes, where if you guys go down there, it's like 25 miles away.
Well, also in Astoria was filmed Popeye, the movie. Popeye, the movie with what's his name? A famous comedian. It was Mork and Mindy. He was Mork on Mork and Mindy. What's his name? Robin Williams, who played Popeye, was also filmed in Astoria.
So, Bob, what do you think of this?
What's that?
She says it's the same creature. They can change from one to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And they sit on your chest and they give you nightmares. That's what they do. They give you nightmares.
I mean, honestly, right? First of all, you have to believe that these things exist.
Yeah.
And if you do believe they exist, we don't know exactly on what they could do, what they can't do. So saying they're the same person, I don't see why not.
Jumping from person to person. Wasn't Jesus thought to, in some small circles, just be somebody like quantum leaps into bodies to bodies to bodies. He doesn't die. Just leaps into the next person and then leaps into the next person, next person in a different, I don't know, philosophy. Personally, I'm skeptical about everything. So, but yeah, leaping from body to body. Isn't that what possession's all about? A demon that leaps from body to body, just moves along. Remember the movie The Nun and The Nun 2 and all the other ones?
We were just talking about Sikla or the other name. Sikla, going into Gary, going into Ted Bundy, going to bodies.
Body to body to body. It happens.
And Bob, these are just stories that are reported on overall news. There's so many stories of people for whatever reason in this area that has been known that just shooting themselves, or hurting people that nobody knew, like a lot.
Yeah,
and I know everybody always brings up the lack of sun, the lack of vitamin D, the lack of this. What if
could be possession? That possession? Yeah, and again, as I went through the research to look at there's no such thing as some person that's bad enough to murder it. You can't. Well, it depends on what your job is. If there is just mark, you just take them out. It's a beautiful pink mist, whatever. You send their family a care package or whatever. Anyway, who cares? That's a whole different kind of a genre of things for jobs. But it's ironic that they all were consecutive. Like you have a serial killer and then whatever execution, then all of a sudden another serial killer and then another serial killer. And they all come from the same area along the Puget Sound. And also, again, if you look at the victims, I'm going to use the word victims of the murder victims, they were all really not, of course, they're not going to show them as bad, but they were all selling drugs, prostitution, gambling. The worst of the worst of the worst kinds of people. And again, I don't want to say that, hey, man, that's messed up. You're saying that these people deserve it. I ain't saying that. I'm saying as a scientist, as an anthropologist, they all fit the same pattern of people that were on the corrupted scale. These serial killers, I'm not condoning serial killing. However, I'm just saying it's odd that all these people that they did go after are not necessarily by social standards very good people. So is it a devil's hand or is it some sort of, I don't know, some sort of judge that's balancing things out? Because Satan means Satan. It's Arabic for judge. It's not a bad word. Satan means judge. So is it Satan's hand?
Yeah.
Is it the hand of a judge? Is there a judge running around doing all these things? I'm just throwing this
thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to discover. I think there's more of a connection here. I just think sometimes people just don't want to, I don't know, dig for the story, look for the story.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right. And you and I lived right there for years. We lived I owned 2 houses there. You've owned multiple houses there. I've just moved from area to area. We stayed in the same area the whole time. And that's exactly where everything happened. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Wow. And again, I did an internship in Des Moines, in the Des Moines Historical Museum. So I was in there with all the artifacts and all the things that they had pulled out, and I got to play with all those. So yeah, we're knowledgeable about this area. Eric and I are not amateurs when it comes to Des Moines, and we're not amateurs when it comes to Normandy Park or Des Moines or the whole area. We know it all because Eric and I used to kayak, fish.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to run around there. My kids went to summer school right there, like right there. the trees over here, just maybe even a few yards away, and then there's a whole park where the summer camp kids were at. We know that whole area. Just catch a lot of fish out of that water. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
What did hey Shelly, sleep paralysis paralysis is a sleep disorder like paver noctilumus or night terrors, which I suffer from. Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, night terrors. I had one last night. Woo-wee, but I was sick though. Eric knows. Eric called me. Eric wanted to make sure I was going to show up today. I said, I'll be here, man. I was sick as a dog yesterday. I'm like, I'm here. Hell yes, I'm going to talk about this area because you and I are experts, man. You know what's funny? You look at Roswell, and there's no serial killers. There's nothing. It's boring. There's nothing. Roswell is like a joke. It's like they even proved it, and I know it's just, you know, it's garbage there, and there's nothing. It probably blew up a balloon. I don't know. Roswell is fake. This area is real, and it has crazy history after that explosion.
Oh, Bob, you keep talking. I'm just.
Oh no, I was watching your video.
I was just showing people this whole area. I was just walking down through the whole area. And it's all grass, forests. It's
beautiful. I love it. I've walked all that area. I've taken all the kids there. We've taken hikes, all through that area all the time. Wow, yeah.
Just trying to give people the look, the idea, and this kind of trails. There's some steep areas, so it's not. If you take kids to here, you got to be very careful.
It's a cliff. Yeah, you got to be real careful.
Yeah.
He mostly took them to Saltwater Park, you know, because that area is a little bit, you know, it's got some things in that area.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's got a lot of crazy things in that area. Well, there's an open portal there. So it's open, man. Here's an open portal there. It's amazing. I saw them in Manchester. There's portals in Manchester too, so I know they exist.
Here we go. Here's a good one. Look at this shot. That's where if you take that trail, it will take you right down where you got the whole look of the Puget Sound.
Yeah, I lived right up the road from it. I used to walk down to the water's edge all the time. With my metal detector. I used to go down with my metal detector and look for all kinds of cool things.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you them exploded UFO pieces. They sure hit that radar. They hit that metal detector picks them up fast. It makes a lot of beepings. Material that does not exist in this reality, but it's here. Light as paper, like lighter than feathers. Piece of metal so light it just floats out of your head.
Now Shelley was responding back to Purgatory. She wrote, "Purgatory, that has happened CPL times, a black shadow holding me down, wide awake, locking at the things that's more or less trying to even breathe. Once in the middle of the afternoon, hand on my shoulder." Wow.
Yeah, there's shadow people. There's shadow people. There's different. They're usually tall, right? They're usually dark, and some of them even have a hat. The old shadow person in a hat. But they to me, they are anybody that plays around with the Men in Black. You guys ever heard of the Men in Black are these weird, stoic looking, almost no fat in their face, weird skinned people with no hair, no eyebrows, no nothing, and they're pretty pushy, but you got to invite them. Ironically, Men in Black are no different than a vampire. You have to invite them in like a demon. You have to invite them into your house. They show up to your house at probably some awkward ass late hour, and they wait for you to invite them inside, like they call the kids with the black eyes, the little black-eyed kids. They show up to your door in the middle of the night. They have like a hoodie on, and they ask to come in. little kids, the black-eyed kids, all black eyes. Men in Black, same way. They even have Men in Black women in history now. I'm like, what? They wear awkward clothes like you'd pull out of a hamper, like the worst secondhand store clothes, like the ones on the rack that nobody buys. They would wear those kind of clothes when they show up to your door. Yeah, and the same thing with the shadow people. They're kind of attached to those same people. And they will mess with you. But here's the good thing. You could tell them to go away. You could tell them you're not buying it anymore. Get off me. Go away. They will have to leave. So if you're suffering from night terrors with these the shadow people, you have the power to tell them to go away. You're not welcome.
Now, dude, but they have to mean it, right? They
You have to mean it, yeah.
You have to mean it. You got to feel it.
You're terrified.
Really.
You might be terrified, and you're letting them just take advantage of you the whole time, and you're just taking the brunt of the terror on it. Or you could just get a little bit ballsy, or as women grow some heavy ovaries and tell them, "Get away from me. You're not accepted here," and they have to leave. Yeah.
You know, what I'm thinking about doing maybe next week. I'm debating on maybe because there's good internet down there. Like next Friday, I'll go live from there, with you on the show live from there, and maybe try the spirit box there.
Yeah, I'll be on the cyber.
You know, Purgatory Place did build. She did made me that radio, and maybe I'll do the again, according to people. Everybody's telling me that Spirit Talker is the real deal of an app. I mean, I'm still skeptical on it, but maybe I'll try it there. Maybe they'll say something there. I'll sit in the middle of Devil's Hand, live on air, and we'll see.
You might want to bring something that Dad owned. I don't know maybe wear Dad's hat.
Ooh, Bob, what you're just saying is true. Look at this. I've had shadow figures come to me but never touch me. I don't allow it. Like you're saying, Bob.
Yeah.
You tell it you're not allowed to do it. I can't say what happened with yours, but you need to believe that you are protected by good and they have no right to touch you. Exactly what you're saying, Bob.
No, they have no right.
Tell it.
And
Get the hell away from me.
And they're fake. They just project scary on you. And a lot of times if you're like a horror movie fan, like you like horror movies, it sets information's in your head like a computer, and they're going to go in and pick that scariest thing that scared you the most. So if you were really scared of Amityville Horror and all the nasties in Amityville Horror, or if Jeepers Creepers, if that scared the shit out of you, and that character Jeepers Creepers, that whatever flying with the big wings, that scared you the most, they're going to pull that out. And they're going to come at you with that, because they're only there to terrorize you and feed off your energy. They're just there to feed on you.
According to Danny, that sounds like a great idea. What could go wrong? Yeah, Danny. The only thing I want to do, Danny, is I got to get one of my kids to come with me so they can hold the camera and stuff, so I can sit there because
your daughter. Bring your daughter.
Yeah.
Because she's strong.
Oh God, she's not afraid of nothing.
Yeah, she's real strong, and she has a no bullshit radar, and nothing's gonna affect her.
Hey, I took her on the paranormal investigation with me on Queen's Mary ship.
Yeah, take her.
And she's like me, she's like, no, there's no haunting here.
Yeah,
I mean, people say there is, but it didn't happen to us. My daughter don't play games where, okay, that's a ghost. No, she'll tell you if she thinks it's a ghost or not.
Yeah, and take some kind of like artifact, maybe from Dad, because Dad was strong. Even Mike, something, this is Mike's hat. This is Mike's hat. Everyone's like, is it? No, this is our older brother Mike's hat.
Bob, she agrees with you. She goes, right, Bob. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Be lucid.
Figure it out.
Learn how to become lucid in your dreams, because they'll just take over your mind, and you're trapped. You're trapped. Like you're in a dream world. You're trapped. Stop for a second in the dream and become lucid. In other words, become conscious. And once you become conscious, then you're like, oh, come on, dude. It ain't gonna fly, man. I get what you. Oh, you're the Jeepers Creepers monster. How perfect. No, go away. Just go away. Be strong. Just don't let them bother you. And watch comedies. Have a little bit of a sense of humor. Always keep yourself high vibration. Comedy is high vibration.
Yes.
Horror and sadness is low vibration. They feed on that shit. Boy.
Yep. And first of all, people, I'm so happy that you guys spend some time with us today on this show, on this episode. And guys, remember, every town has a story.
Yeah.
Every town has some kind of story. You just got to go find it. Because there are towns that don't want anything to do with this stuff. If you talk to people in Normandy Park, a lot of times you start asking them questions about it, they walk away because they don't want any part of it. A lot of people feel in Normandy Park that if they talk about this Sikla, that something's going to happen to them because they're extra close to it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you walk down with fear, you'll only experience fear.
Yeah. And
if you walk down like Dr. Venkman, like if you were like Bill Murray walking down there, like from Ghostbusters, like, here we go. You know, and then you're going to be good.
check out Lucid Dream Portal.
Yeah. Practice. You guys need to practice being lucid in your dreams, and you'll fight these shadow people off. Because then you're yeah.
Bob, beyond that, are you doing anything tonight for people to check you out tonight? Are you doing anything? Or are you just get over your cold?
I usually only get sick for one day, and it got me real good yesterday, real good, but I'm feeling good now. I kind of promised somebody else that I'd come on because, you know, people watch me, again, to get off narcotics. They're in the middle of a detox, and they're like, dude, I just need you to come on and say stupid shit. All right, I'll come on and say dumb things. That's what I do while people are in detox.
And I will put out that Devil's Hand video on its own. I will put that on its own. So, because I know some people just want to watch a 2-minute video and they're gone. They don't want to sit and really discuss it.
Yeah.
You know, so I will put that video out on its own. But beyond that, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out here.
One more thing. For Danny Staton or somebody else, all you guys in the sidebar, you got to go watch that video where the guy steals the airplane from the airport and listen to the audio. Grab a coldie, smoke one if you got them, and you're going to laugh at this guy. Yep. It's hilarious. I just want to say that. Go find that.
Yep.
Go find it.
And that guy flew over the Devil's Hand.
Yeah.
And he visited the area of
the Devil's Hand. He was
Devil's
there.
Hand. So
yeah.
Don't take my word for it. Just look at the evidence.
Go look at the evidence.
It's all there, my friends.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll see you next time on the Paranormal Highway.
Been this serial killer on the loose for many, many years who was named the Green River Killer. He was this faceless monster.
Every time a body was found, it was thought that it could be attributed to the Green River Killer.
We had victims that were missing for over 2 years that had never been reported missing. So it made it easy for Mr. Ridgway because we were sometimes 2 and 3 years behind him.
A truck painter by day and a serial killer by night, 33-year-old Gary Ridgway was hiding in plain sight and living in a quiet Seattle neighborhood. In November 2003, Gary Ridgway was convicted of 48 counts of aggravated murder.
The first time I saw him, it was disappointing. He was kind of a mouse of a man in the minds of so many in the Pacific Northwest as some sort of superhuman, that it was just shocking to see what a little worm of a man he actually was.